Hello everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my speaking skills series. What we're going to do today is continue with a unit we started, which I called Making Excuses, but we're going to take it a step further. We're going to talk about reasons, not just excuses today. So we're going to develop a full unit on giving reasons, making excuses when you're not satisfied, when you're not convinced about doing something, and ultimately that's going to lead up to giving arguments and counter-arguments. We'll talk more about that in just a minute. First, a little bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. By the way, here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up. That means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so we can keep the classroom quiet. Tune in to the new words that you're learning when you are speaking so I can correct you and give you feedback. And finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. And that's a little bit about me. Let's say hello to Daniel. Hello, Daniel. How are you?
Hello, teacher. Good morning. I'm doing well.
All right, very good. Let's see where everyone else is.
Yes.
I have no idea. Maybe they'll be joining us in a moment. And so here I'm going to share my screen. Just a minute. I may be having a computer problem because, well, something seems a little bit weird with the Hangout. So if I disappear, I'll switch browsers and come back. But let's see if it works. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open our notes because we're going to be using that today. And as soon as that opens, I'm going to share my screen with you. 1 second. One moment, please. All right. Well, I'll put it on screen even though it's not appearing yet. It'll take a minute to load. So let's put it like this. All right. So can you see the speaking skills?
Yes.
Okay, good, fine. So it'll be there in just a minute. While that's loading, so we're going to try to put together a few classes that let you create an argument and a counter-argument. We've already done a little bit last week with excuses when you're not convinced about something. So we're going to try to take that a step further. And at the end, we'll see if we can put all of these skills together into one big activity. But for today, let's start with reasons. As you know, if you go down here to Table of Contents, you see these skills describing a photo, commenting an opinion, talking abstractly. The last one we did was how to make excuses. So I'd like to add something here. The bottom, underneath part 8, I'm going to add a part 9. We're going to call this how to give reasons. Give reasons. Okay. So let's brainstorm for a second. Just like we did before when we're talking about connectors, right? Fanboys. Well, we have connectors of reason, actually. Maybe what we ought to do is recopy those here. I just realized that we've already done this a little bit. So let me start by recopying those here, and we'll see if we can add to the list. Give me a second here. So we already have a few reasons from before, so we'll add them here. Because, that's why, as, since, do, on account of. Okay, but what I'd like to do is to be a little bit more detailed. Starting off, how you can start off by giving a reason, and then how you can continue. What I'd like to do is, before we do anything, if you look at that list, or you think of other connectors that give reasons, what do you think would be a good way to show that you're starting off, you're beginning your list of reasons, as opposed to continuing or finishing? So maybe we can start like that. I'll put finishing down here. So, in other words, oh, we got people now. I can see everyone. Sorry about that. When I'm sharing my screen, I can't see people come in. So now I can see you. So we've got Silver. Hello, Silver. And hello, Yuki. Nice to have you.
Nice to see you.
And we lost Adil, but maybe he'll be back in a moment. There he is. Okay. So, I'm going to try to share my screen as I was doing. I might have, if I disappear, or if I don't see anyone come in, just let me know. If I disappear, I'll come back in a minute, because I'm definitely having a little bit of Hangout problems today. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so here's where we were. In that speaking skills shared notes document, first, quick review of some of the connectors to give reasons. Why, because, that's why, as or since, due to, on account of. That one's a little bit formal. When we're going to talk about something, especially giving our opinion, what's the first thing we tend to say in English? When we're opening our mouths to say something for the first time, we're signaling that we're about to start. What's the first thing that comes out of our mouth? The very first word. What do you think, everyone?
Firstly.
Firstly. Before firstly. Even before that. By the way, I'll add that because that's okay. But even before that.
I would like.
I would like.
Give a reason.
If you're going to be polite.
I'm very polite.
In Spanish, you might say, bueno.
What? Ah,
bueno.
Okay.
How would you say that in English?
Good.
Yeah, that's a literal translation, though. You've got to think more colloquially.
Fine.
I would say this. Depends on the context. If the first thing that comes out of your mouth is you want to show that you're about to speak.
Okay.
But what's the word in English that shows you're about to speak? In Italian, allora. In Spanish, probably bueno or vale. In Portuguese, bon. In French, alors. So, what is it in English?
So.
No. That's when you're ending. What about when you're beginning? So is your conclusion. What's your opening? Anyone? Going once? Going twice? It's a good guess?
No, sir.
That's a good guess.
No, sir. I just want to ask, I didn't understand. When we began our conversation with stranger?
Before you even begin the conversation with anyone, the first word out of your mouth,
I guess, hey, we say hey.
Hey, if you're saying hello. Hey there. Good. Almost. Now you're on the right track. After you say hey, you say, I'll tell you, it's well. You can't go wrong with well. Here's why. First,
I should start by saying.
Well, I should start by saying. Exactly. But it also gives you time to think. Because your brain needs a split second to process information. So instead of looking at someone and going, you can look at them and go, well. And in that split second, you consciously or unconsciously have a little time to think. And it helps you get your thoughts together. So if you start off with well, You can add any connector you like, but you could also give your connectors of reason, and it'll sound fine. So let's do the one that Daniel said. First or firstly. That's fine. But look, first or firstly, the reason why is, okay, it sounds good. Well, firstly, the reason why is, you're giving a reason for something. Well, start off, it's because. So as you can see, the connectors of reason sound pretty good after well.
As
You
far as,
can you can
as far as
tell.
what I do goes,
As far as what I, here we go. Well, as far as, and you could say anything you want after blah
As
blah
far
blah goes. You
as
could
far
say
as I'm
anything.
concerned,
As far as I'm concerned. Well, Yuki is giving.
as far as what I can tell about myself
Okay,
goes,
Yuki's giving it a one
everything
from.
is okay.
Yeah. Let's give that a name. This is going to be called rephrasing, especially if someone asks you a question. Yuki remembers that from before. As far as X, Y, Z goes. Okay, I agree. That's a good one. Because if someone asks you a question like, what's your opinion about, I don't know, what's your opinion about the Islamic State? What's your opinion about Ukraine? Something in the news. What's your opinion about the Barclays banking scandal, or whatever the latest one is? You could say, well, as far as the Barclays banking scandal is concerned, or it goes, either one is okay. Daniel, you said is concerned, and I agree that you can also say that is concerned, but that one is a little bit formal,
very
slightly
British.
formal. Say again, Daniel.
Maybe very British.
Yeah, it's maybe more British, more British English, maybe. But also in American English, it's just slightly more formal. I mean, not that formal, but a little bit. So I'm just going to say informal and formal. Okay, we also need to map out how to continue giving reasons and how to finish up, how to summarize. We already know that so is probably our final word.
So in
But,
a nutshell,
so, in
So-
a nutshell, that works for me. Here's what we're going to do, though. Let's go to today's class. I've renamed the unit Arguments and Counter-Arguments. And making excuses was one part of that, but I'm going to open it up to doing more things. So the first thing we're going to do is give reasons. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I can't see anyone. I don't know who's in class. So everyone, make sure that it would be good if you could have the notes open. Here are the notes. No, sorry. There we go. Yuki put the notes. There we go. Good. So it'd be good if you had the notes open because it's a little tricky to keep sharing my screen, okay? And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you, we're going to do a first activity here. You can't see it. And there are the notes in the internal group chat. You know what? My camera isn't working. You can't see my face.
You look dark today.
I'm not dark, though. I just look dark. Camera is not being detected. Tell you what, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Let me see if I can rejoin the class and get because something is definitely acting weird today. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, okay? I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay. And Yuki, entertain everyone with magic tricks. Well,
no.
magic tricks. You're the one where you take the rabbit out of the whatever I don't know. I'll be
No.
right back. I'll be right
I
back.
can't do it.
Yuki, you can use your red lipstick.
Red lipstick?
Yes.
For what? Makeup. Yeah. Yes.
When I
No.
thought when I thought about it, I'm laughing.
Thank you. But in reality, I have no habit to make up myself.
Don't you like to
With
wear a costume?
yes. Okay. Next time I'll show you how I'll wear like a girl. How's everything, Daniel?
¿Cómo?
How's everything with you, Daniel? How are you?
Fine, fine, thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to say you I have a friend of mine working in Japan.
Yeah, in Japan.
Yeah,
Uh,
making
he
a solar station.
he already is working now in Japan.
Yes,
Yes.
and she
She.
doesn't know how to speak in Japan,
Yeah. She
neither English.
she doesn't speak in Japanese. Yeah. But
I don't
But
know
but
if he
Yuki, Yuki, you can teach her.
yeah. Sorry.
You just got yourself a job. All right, let's see if I can get my name on the screen, and everything looks like it's working a little better now. All right, and Ishmael, you've been very quiet. What's going on with you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Oh,
So, how
good.
are you?
I'm all right. I just haven't heard you. You came in, you were so quiet, I was worried. Everything.
Yes, I am listening to you.
Okay. So I'm reopening everything right now. It'll take a second. While that's happening, let's start our first exercise. I want you to think about or write down 4 things which you should have done recently but didn't do. For example, maybe there was an email that you should have sent. Maybe there was a book that you should have returned to the library that you didn't. What we were going to do is exchange our lists with each other. So I'd like maybe 4 is a good number, 3 or 4. You're going to exchange lists of what you haven't done. One student should start to challenge the other, and you've got to list reasons. What we're going to do by doing that is look at how to begin, continue, and finish giving reasons. And we'll be adding more connectors to the list. Okay? So everyone take a minute. Are you thinking? You can write this down or just think. And I'll do the same. And I'll take a few notes here on exercise 1. So this says on page 10, exercise 1, listing, what are we going to call this? Should haves. We'll call this should have dones. Things we should have done.
Any sentence is okay.
You don't even need a sentence yet. Just think of 3 to 4 things you should have done. That's it.
Ah,
You can write them down or just keep them in your head.
okay.
I'm going to see if I can do an example. I should have planned my lessons. Should have planned my lessons, but of course, I'm always late doing that. I should have, what else? I should have, I should have sent my documents to the new school. I should have sent all of my certificates and everything to the new job. This is a big one. Should have put money in bank. Yeah. I have to pay a bill and I have no money in my bank. I'm in trouble. So these are 3 things I should have done. Yuki, can you tell me 3 things you should have done today?
I I should have done my homework for Jon-Eric's class.
You should have done. Oh my goodness. What else?
I should uh, I should have done housework for my wife.
my goodness.
I should have washed the dishes after dinner for my wife.
You should have. Who's cooking, you or her?
She always usually she cooks for me. I
So
only eat them.
you just consume. She does all the work.
Yes, I am big consumer.
Got it. All right. So let's take a look at this. Okay, I've got your excuses there. I've got mine. And you can see these on page 10. Let's express this as a should have. Should have done my homework. Should have done my housework. And again, should have done, whoops, spelled wrong, the dishes. Okay, very good. We're going to try this together. One person needs to start to challenge the other. So I can say, you should have done. I could say, you'll have to do. I could ask you, why haven't you done? The other student, you, in this case Yuki, or me if we change roles, has to answer with good reasons. You have to use some of the phrases that we've done to introduce how to give reasons. So, for example, I haven't given you back the book I borrowed from you last summer. I only gave you that book for a short period of time. You have to give it back to me. What could I say as an excuse? What's the first thing out of my mouth? What do you think, class?
Because I usually read very slowly.
I usually read very slowly. Read.
Yes,
Very
read,
good.
Sorry.
And before you say that, you need to use one of our connectors of reason. So let's try it again. I said, look, I only gave you that book for a short period of time, Daniel. You should have given it back months ago. And you say, what's the first thing you say out of your mouth?
Okay. Well.
Well, good.
Well, it's because I usually read very slowly.
Okay. And before that, you might say, I'm terribly sorry.
I'm terribly sorry.
You might want to say that too. So
And
it looks like this. Yeah, go ahead.
and I and I didn't. I don't and I don't end it yet.
I didn't finish it yet.
I didn't finish it yet. Yes.
I didn't. Well, actually, to be grammatically correct, you should say I haven't finished it yet.
Okay.
You should actually say it like that.
So
The
far,
right verb tense.
I haven't finished it yet.
Okay, very good. So maybe that's a good. There we go. Adil, where are you? There you are. Should have is the past tense. Well, hang on a second. Should have done is the present perfect. That's the name of the tense, and that's when you're connecting something from the past to the present. If there's a connection between the past to the present, or if it's not finished yet, we can use the should have done, should have been, should have gone, right? Present perfect. Whereas the past would be had or done, had or did or was. Is that clear, Adil?
Yes.
Yeah? All right. So now that we've got an example, put it on screen, you should have returned my book months ago. And you said, well, I'm terribly sorry. What was your connector of reason, Daniel?
Well, I'm sorry, but
Now you need the reason word.
I usually read very slowly.
Yeah, but you're missing the
Very slow.
connector. You're missing the connector.
Ah,
Look up here. Starting off. Well,
I'm terribly sorry, but I usually read very
Yeah,
slowly.
but where's your connector? You need one of
Ah,
these. Look,
the connector is bad.
no, not in this
Mm,
case.
hmm.
You're going to need two connectors if you use but. But is okay because we
Ah,
always say sorry, but it's okay.
it's because.
Yeah, there we go. It's because.
Mm,
Okay, I agree with you. That sounds good. So I'll put that in our example. But it's because I read so slowly.
ah,
Very good. Let's imagine that you've got more things to say. Um, but firstly, firstly, it's because I read so slowly. If you're going to continue, by the way, this is for the whole class. If Daniel was going to continue to give excuses, what could he say to show that he's got more excuses, more reasons to offer besides firstly? What do you think, class? Besides firstly, what could he say? Would he say next? Because that sounds a little weird to me.
Secondary. No.
Eh,
but the
it,
main reason.
that was good from last week, but the main reason is, I like it. That was a connector from last week. The main reason is, sounds good. What's the main reason, Daniel? The main reason is,
I
haven't,
haven't. I haven't read.
haven't finished
I haven't finished it.
it yet. Okay. So here, we might want to move our butt. I'm sorry. Firstly, it's because I read so slowly. But the main reason is because the contrast sounds better in the second part. And let's imagine that he's got a final reason, or at least he wants to signal that he's done speaking. What's the first word out of his mouth to make a conclusion? For and nor, but, or yet
Then
so. If you're going to use one of our fanboys, for and nor, but, or yet so. Which fanboys would he use? Fanboys are the basic conjunctions, for and nor, but, or yet so.
so
So,
no.
yeah, absolutely. So there's our conjunction. So, now you have a choice. You can summarize, you can conclude by giving a final reason or answer, or I suppose you
When
can
I
come up.
finish, I
Okay, good. So, when I finish, I'll what?
I
I'll
I'll return it back.
I'll give it back. Sounds better. I'll give it back. I'm going to put so in bold because it's an important connector. In fact, I'll put all the connectors in bold so you can see them. The other so, like I read so slowly, that's not a connector. That so means very. It's an intensifier. So I'm not going to put that one in bold. But I will put in bold, well, firstly, but, the main reason is, and so. That is a good structure for us too. And you can just follow that. Let's try it. Yuki, me and you, let's try it.
Yes.
Yuki, instead of saying should have, let's change this. You really ought to have done your homework. Ah, look at that structure. You really ought to have done. It means you should have done. But it sounds better. It gives you another tool to express the same thing. Yuki, you really ought to have done your homework.
Yes. Yes, you are right. I am terribly sorry. Uh, um, it because I'm terribly sorry, but I couldn't because I yesterday I was very busy uh, with my work. I I had a deadline in my translation work. So so could you please could you wait until tomorrow? I'll definitely do my homework. Uh,
What do you think,
uh,
class? Should I wait till tomorrow? What do you
should
think? Yes? Does he deserve it? Adil, Ishmael, do I give him an extra day?
Um, in my opinion, yeah, he deserve it
You
because
can.
he already take long
Uh-huh.
time.
I see. I see. All right. You're off the hook this time.
yeah.
Very good. Okay. So you only gave one reason. That's okay. I'd like us to try to follow that structure and give at least two, if not three. We're going to firstly, or first of all, or to start off with, but the main reason is what else could we say to give to continue? What else could we say? But the main reason is,
But main reason is
but yeah, what else could, what other connectors could we use to continue? What do you think?
uh, so no.
Hmm,
But the main
So,
reason is my wife had a
no,
lease
no, the reason isn't important here, just the connector. But the
connector.
main reason is, here's another one. Uh,
You
well,
mean
we could
the
say
same meaning?
just
Uh,
the connector. So the main reason is another one because of that. So what I'm saying is we could add some of the basic connectors of reason. So the main thing is because of that.
Another reason is
There we go. Another reason. I don't know if I want to keep using the word reason, but okay. I like another because it shows something additionally. So we've got but connectors like this. Um, Another reason is, how about this one? Beyond that, besides, what I'm going to try to do is add. So look, these are
since
since and as. These are all. I'm going to call these and words because they all mean the same as and I'm going to call these but words because they're all buts. So let's put it like that. But the main reason is, but because of that.
on
And
account of.
on account of that sounds a little formal. Might work. We could try. It might work. But if I say another reason is, it's the same as and. I don't have to say and. I can just say another reason is. If I say beyond that, I could add a connector like beyond that. Um, well, actually, there's nothing more I can say. I could say though, besides. Let's see if I can think of another good connector.
Moreover,
Yeah, these are just and words. I can't really add both a reason and an and together, except for adding the word reason. Besides that, yeah, it sounds okay the way it is. And we've got so, in a nutshell, put it like this. Or so words. So, in a nutshell, so, and we've got the ones from before, all in all, and if we think of any others, we can add them. Okay, but we got a good structure. Starting off, well, firstly, to start off, or we could even rephrase. Continuing with buts and ands, but the main reason is, but because of that, and beyond that, mainly, and mainly, and especially, these are all things that might come up. Okay, so let's give this a try as a group. Oh, look, we've got Amir as well. Hello, Amir. Welcome back. So right now we're working on connectors of reason, and we're playing a little game called Have You Got a Good Reason? Or I think in the document I called it Should Have Dones. Everyone had to think of 3 should have dones, things you should have done. Yuki, I said to Yuki, you really ought to have done your homework because he said I should have done my homework. And then we're using that structure on screen. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let me take a quick screenshot, and I'll actually share my screen with you. That way I can see everyone at the same time. Give me just a second here. And what we're going to do is go around the room, give you a chance to practice it, and then we're going to add a little bit of information to it. Let's see if I can do this. Screenshot, print screen, using handy Microsoft Paint. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it looks like it works. So let me share my screen. I think I got this. Look at that. Okay, so those are the notes we came up with. So let's try it. We're going to go around the room. Oops. There we go. Sorry, a little bit tricky here. We're going to go around the room. You're going to think of an excuse. I gave one. By the way, I'll list these on page 10. Okay? So Daniel, let's keep it to 1 or 2 each. So Daniel, something that you should have done today that you didn't.
Okay. I shouldn't have missed my bus.
Missed
Missed my bus.
my bus. Very good. Actually, I'm going to put this one, I'm going to say class. Missed my bus. Adil, something you should have done today.
Oh, yes, I should have done breakfast.
Done breakfast?
Yes.
Done breakfast? Try again.
I should have take breakfast.
One more time. Not done, not taken.
Done.
No, not done. Not taken, not done. One more time. Give up?
Yeah, give up.
Should have made breakfast. If you say done, it means that you are creating it. You're the cook. So do you mean that you're the one who cooked breakfast?
No, I mean,
I see.
I will buy something and
Oh, okay, got it. So that means you shouldn't have skipped breakfast today. A better way to say it. Shouldn't have skipped. By the way, you can see that on page 11 of our notes. So, Daniel shouldn't have missed his bus. I'm going to do this in the negative. Shouldn't have missed his bus. Adil shouldn't have skipped breakfast. I'll do it in the negative. Amir, what's something you should have or shouldn't have done today? Well, what's something you should have done? I'll put in the negative. You tell me in the positive. I should have planned my lessons. I should have put money in the bank. Yuki should have done his homework. Daniel shouldn't have caught his bus. What should you have done today, Amir?
I should have write a letter to my new client to tell him about our new service.
Very good. So should have written a letter, really? Not an email, a letter?
Maybe
Wow.
I'll send him an email and I'll write a letter. Yeah.
So we'll call that more generally. Instead of a letter, we'll say should have written to my new client. And Ishmael, what's something you should have done today?
I should wake up early.
Wake or woken? Woken. Woken.
I should have woken up early today.
very good. I should have woken up early. So when we say should have, you've got to follow that with the past participle. Have done, have gone, have woken, have spoken, have walked, have talked. So it's always the past participle of the main verb. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put you in pairs. I want you I want you to say what the person should or shouldn't have done, and your partner is going to give an excuse. But not just one excuse. You're going to try that three-part structure. Well is the first part. Then your opening, then your starting off connector. You could say firstly. You could say to start off with. You could say whatever's on screen. In fact, we can list more if we think of them. Then you're going to give a second excuse, but the main reason is. And then you're going to finish up with so. You can conclude, you can summarize, or finish in any way you like, so long as you put the word so. Let's give it a try, okay? Let's see if I can put, so, let's see if I can put, Daniel, you were the last to go. So you're going to then speak with Adil. You've got two ways to talk about things you should have done. You could say you should have done, or the negative you shouldn't have done. And I gave an alternative there under Yuki's name. You really ought to have done. You really ought to have done. It means the same thing. Okay, so you're speaking to Adil. Oh wait, Adil, I forgot. What was your excuse? Skipping breakfast, right?
Yes.
Got it, okay. So Daniel, you're going to ask him about that. Hey, Adil.
Okay. Hey, Audio. Why?
Good.
Why didn't you? Why did you skip your breakfast?
Why did you what? Didn't hear it.
Skipped breakfast.
Ah, got it. Why did you skip?
Skipped.
Not skipped, because you didn't use have.
Okay, why did you skip breakfast this morning?
Again, or this morning, okay.
Why?
Well, I woke up. I woke up and I was. I woke up and I have. Yesterday I was seeing the time of Sir Jon-Eric is a class coming up, and I skipped my breakfast because of to join class. Yeah.
Don't blame me. It's not my fault. You take responsibility for yourself. Not my fault.
Oh, yes.
Okay, Adil, very good. I want you to say that again. Actually, both of you. We're going to try this again. See if you can list two reasons. Okay, you got the first one, the class. And that way, you've got to use a starting off connector. Firstly, to start off, to begin with, let me start by saying, let me point out first. Any of those will be good starting off connectors. But then you're going to give the second reason by saying, the main reason is because of that, mainly or especially. So you're going to choose from part 3. And then you need to finish up in some way. Is that clear, Adil? So we're going to try to follow that structure to give you a little bit of practice. Okay. So, Daniel, let's take it again.
Aryu, why did you skip breakfast this morning?
It's because the mainly reason. Sorry?
Well, to start off, it's because. Try it like that.
It's because.
Well, to start off, it's because. Get all those connectors in there. Well, to start off.
Well, to start off, it's because mainly yesterday I decided to wake up like earlier in the morning, but I woke up very late, like after 2 hour. I
Oh,
mean,
2 hours late.
2 hours late. Yes.
Okay, good. Now choose from column 3. But or and, the main reason, because of that, especially, another reason, beyond that, besides. Can you give a second reason?
Me?
Yeah, you.
The main reason is that I'm lazy.
Good. And honest.
Yes.
Very good. Adil, finish up by saying, so, in a nutshell, so, all in all. So, the point is, so the next time, whatever you want to say, but finish up with the so.
Yeah. So, all in all, next time I won't do that to be lazy because of lazy, I am alone and I wanna have a girlfriend.
I'm not sure I followed the argument there. You mean if you get up earlier, you'll have a girlfriend?
Uh, I
I
mean,
didn't quite follow the argument. I think it's a
um,
good argument. It's always good to have a girl.
yeah. So all in all, I decided to next time, I mean, wake up very earlier than I used to
Wake up.
wake up. Yeah.
Yeah, because used to is the past. So you wouldn't say used to woke up, you'd say used to wake up. Used to already expresses the past. Okay, good. Let me say that back to you. Okay? Let me say it back to you and tell me if I got it right. Well, to start off, it's because I woke up 2 hours late. Um, but the main reason is I'm just lazy. I always wake up late because I can't be bothered. So, all in all, I'm lazy, I wake up late, but from now on, I'm going to start waking up early and I'm going to be proactive, and that's going to help me get a girlfriend. Right?
Yes.
All right. So all I did was just use the connectors. I added what you said and just used nothing but those connectors to keep it really concise. Right? Well, to start off, but the main reason is, so all in all, and I added one, maybe for the next time or in the future, kind of continuing with the so. Well, for the next time or in the future, I'm going to change my ways and get up early. Okay, not bad. Let's give it a try with Amir and Ishmael. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Adil, you've got to ask Amir. You've got to ask Amir using one of those questions. We've now got 3 questions we can ask. Well, not really questions, statements. You should have done something, you really ought to have done, or why did you? So we've got 3 ways to talk about that now. And Amir's was writing to his client. So I'm going to put Amir's name next to that. It's on page 12. Okay? So how would you ask him or mention about writing to his client, Adil?
Yes. I would say, um, Amir, you should have done.
You should have written.
You should have written to your client.
Yeah. You should have written to your client already. It's so late. You should have written to your client already. I'm going to add that. It sounds even better. You should have written to your client already, Amir. Why didn't you?
Yeah, you shouldn't, Amir, you shouldn't written to your client already. Why didn't you?
Why didn't you, Amir? So, Amir, see if you can follow that structure. Starting off, continuing, and finishing.
Okay, because he is a professional client, so due to our deadline, we should tell him that we don't have another time to answer to us.
Okay, I gotta hear those connectors though. So look at part 2. The first thing out of your mouth, Amir, is well. Then you can choose any of those connectors to show that you're giving your first reason. It could be any of those. It could be others that we don't have listed there as well. As long as it sounds good, and I'll correct you. So let's try it again. Amir, why haven't you written to your client? You should have done it already. So say it back to me, Amir. Well, uh-oh, I don't hear Amir. Uh-oh, I don't hear Amir. I think he got kicked out of the Hangout.
I think he went teacher to write his client, I guess.
He went to write his client. Amir, when you're done writing your client, come back. Now he's got connection problems. He's got connection problems. So, Yuki, I'd like you to ask Ishmael. Let's get Ishmael in here. His excuse, or his should have done, was about the bus, wasn't it, Ishmael?
Wake up early? No?
Was it, Ishmael?
No.
What was yours?
It's the bus.
Woken up.
Ishmael.
I should have
Matter should
woken
have
up early.
woken up early.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, my fault. All right. So Yuki, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different ways you could talk to him about that.
Ishmael, why haven't you woken up early today? Our client is get angered because you haven't been there in conference with our customers.
Well, to start off, it is because I went to bed lately.
Late.
I surfed on the internet, and another reason is I was ill. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and the weather was very cloudy last night. I couldn't sleep well. That's why I couldn't wake up early.
And finishing. So, in a nutshell. So, all in all. So, for the future.
So, in a nutshell, I am late for the meeting.
Am or was?
I was late for the meeting.
But will it happen again?
But
will it happen ever again? Make an empty promise here.
I promise I don't do it again.
Don't or won't, Ishmael?
I won't do it again.
Perfect. Perfect. Anyway, excellent structure there. Ishmael, I'm going to say it back to you. You tell me if I understood correctly.
Did you accept my excuse, John?
It's not me who asked. It's Yuki.
Yeah, sorry, Yuki. Is it okay?
Of course.
Is he off the hook, Yuki?
Of course, I'll forgive you.
You're forgiven. Ishmael, you're forgiven.
Thank you, Yuki.
Okay.
My pleasure.
Ishmael, let me rephrase or restate what you said so you can listen to it from a native speaker. This is what I think you said. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said, well, I forgot the first thing you said. Well, firstly, the reason is that I couldn't sleep last night. I was up late surfing the internet, and the hours just went by without me even noticing. But another reason is that, in fact, I'm quite ill. I have arthritis, and the weather was terrible, so I was really uncomfortable and couldn't get to sleep after that. So, in a nutshell, I have some health problems, but I promise that I won't be late ever again. Did I get that right?
Yes, John.
Very good, very good. So excellent structure. And you see, I just changed a few small details, but it was your words with those connectors. It sounds pretty good. One thing you can do is try this again on your own. Go back and replay that part of the class if you want, and to just compare your answers to the ones that we gave in class, because I'm always trying to rephrase what you say. I mean, all of you. You two, Yuki and Adil. And Amir, I don't know what happened to you, but if you're back, I can do the same for you. So it's not bad. Not bad. That's a good structure to follow. Okay, so what we've done is we've looked at how to give excuses in the last class, and we've looked at how to state reasons in this class, which is a good start. What we need to do is, we're actually going to have to stop in just a minute, but we're going to try to put those together into one big strategy, we'll say, for dealing with making arguments and counter arguments. I think we're going to have to stop because we're out of time. In the next class, what we're going to do, well, first let me offer you a chance to do some writing, especially if you send it to me before the weekend. I can have it corrected. So what I'd like you to do is to take an excuse from class today, see if you can write it out. It can be really short if you want, and I'll correct you, because you'll notice sometimes the verb tenses might be difficult, so I can correct you there. Maybe it would be a good idea to write it as a two-part dialogue. Person A, or maybe it's me, says to you, you should have, you really ought to have, why didn't you? And then you respond in the dialogue. Well, to begin with, to start off, but the main reason is, so all in all. So if you write it out as a short two-part dialogue between me and you, send it to me through the Verbling message system. I'll correct all the details and send it back to you. Okay? If it's long, send it to me soon. If it's short, you can send it to me later. It's up to you, but I'll correct it. In the next class, we're going to play door-to-door salesman. People are going to give a reason why their product is good, and you have to make excuses. So we're going to try to put together the last two classes into one activity. And we're going to work on connectors that show lack of interest, such as, I'm not really interested in, but I'm not really worried about whatever the issue is. I'm sorry, I've got absolutely no use for, or I'm perfectly happy with what I've got. We're going to take those and add to them and put together everything we've learned so far. So that's the plan. But I'll be back in just a minute to continue getting results in business, our unit on customer service. We're going to take a deep look at the grammar of direct and indirect questions, so that when you're dealing with a tough customer service situation, you can politely ask using indirect questions what the problem could be. So we'll do that in just a minute. Bye for now, everyone. Talk to you
Bye.
soon.
Bye
See
for
you
now.
soon. Bye-bye.